Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining this webinar today. I can't see who's here, but I'm trusting that everybody is currently joining. So we're just going to get going, and we will have a recording of this webinar to share with our parents and anybody who is interested in joining this very, very important end-of-year fundraising season. So this webinar is myself, Brianna Fleming, who's our marketing manager and mom to Penelope, and my co-founder of the FOXG1 Research Foundation, Nasha Fitter. So let's get started. Okay. The rundown for the webinar today, this is what we're going to be covering. First, we're going to talk about how far we've come because of the fundraising that we have all done together, what we've been able to accomplish since we launched the FOXG1 Research Foundation in 2017. We're going to talk about the impact of support because this is a really important message point for us all to really grasp and be able to communicate because it's quite impactful. We're going to talk about the final days of Tom's Walk, talk about our Yes They Can gene therapy campaign that is underway. We're going to introduce our 2025 end of year campaign. We're going to talk ideas to go big and how you can help with major donors. And then finally, we will give you an update on the FOXG1 Gene Therapy program. Okay, so just take that out. Okay, so this is a slide that we talk about. Nasha and I present often when we talk about what the landscape was like before we started the FOXG1 Research Foundation. So I know, my daughter Josie was diagnosed in 2014. So in the year 2016, before we started, there was very little known about FOXG1 syndrome. There wasn't a concerted research effort underway. And since we got together with a team of parents from all over the world, Nasha and I, since we launched that Labor Day weekend in 2017, we have raised $17 million. Now, that is the money that has gotten us up to the point to launch our gene therapy campaign and the money that we have raised so far in this campaign, which we will talk more about. As many of you know, with this journey, we have funded researchers all over the world to really understand the FOXG1 gene. In 2016, there was just very little understanding of what the gene actually does. We've developed a suite of models. As we put out when we started this effort, we said we're going to have models to test future therapies on that cover the spectrum of FOXG1 mutation types. As you see here in the photo down below, we launched the FOXG1 Research Center at the University of Buffalo. We've had science symposiums, parents' conferences in Florida, and you're hearing it here first. There will be the next FOXG1 Parents Conference in 2026 in November. So we will send a save the date, and we're really excited because we think it's going to be bigger than ever. We could have our own webinar about the natural history study that we pioneered with Citizen Health, thanks to the grant from the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative. This new platform that we pioneered because we knew that we needed a way to get better data about FOXG1 patients. So we brought this to the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative. We got the $500,000 grant. We launched this new platform with Citizen Help. It's now used by more than 100 other rare disease groups. There's a publication coming. So this is something we really talk about, how as parents, we knew we had to be innovative if we're going to make a difference for our children and for rare diseases. Chan Zuckerberg are not only our partners, we're considered mentors. They use us as a case study for the impact of their grants. The FOXG1 patient registry we've developed. If your child is not registered, please make sure that they are. We have 5 international chapters and growing, and it's so wonderful how there are FOXG1 research foundations in all these other countries, and we are all working together towards the same goal. Nasha spoke at the White House And if you saw last week, we had some pretty big news. We finally obtained our own ICD-10 code for FOXG1 syndrome. So this we have been working on for 5 years. And now when our children go to the doctor isn't guessing what they should code our children as. There's a FOXG1 syndrome code. And most importantly, where we are today is we're developing the first genetic therapy that we're seeing curative preclinical results. And we are on track to bring this to patient clinical trials in 2026. And what's really remarkable, what stopped me in my tracks is when we announced that we got the rare pediatric disease designation and the orphan disease designation, and we saw the name of our program, FRF001. Nasha and I just called each other. We said FRF001. Now, those letters, when you see the name of a program for a clinical trial for drug development, those first letters are usually the pharma company. So it might be PRX for Praxis or Biogen. And seeing the name of FRF is really sort of underscoring why we are here. We are sponsoring our own clinical trial. So all of us here knows that drug development for rare diseases is just simply not lucrative for pharma. But we are seeing such an incredible rise of genetic therapies curing diseases. Curing is a loaded word, treating diseases. So actually on our website, there's a great article that features Josie and I in Bloomberg called When a Miracle Cure is Left on the Shelf. Because a lot of rare disease programs are being dropped because for pharma, it's just doesn't matter. It's not good for their bottom line. So what are we to do? So we are doing it ourselves. And this is all because of the power of philanthropy and every single dollar that is donated from every family member along the way. Everybody is helping us to make history. We are the first rare disease foundation to sponsor a multi-site international clinical trial ourselves, as far as we know. And this is what we're fundraising for, to get this FOXG1 gene therapy into and through the trials, to approvals, and to patients worldwide. So this is where we need everybody more than ever. And how will we get there? So last January, the beginning of January in 2024, we launched the Yes They Can FOXG1 Gene Therapy campaign. And Yes They Can is based on the premise that yes, our children can live healthier, easier lives. We can live easier lives. And we are seeing this with gene therapy. We are seeing some pretty miraculous results with other disease groups because of gene therapy. And so we launched this campaign. It's on our website. I am thrilled to say that since launching it, we have raised $11 million towards our $22 million goal. So we still have halfway to go, but actually on that, I just real quick, I want to talk about the $22 million goal because this is how we're doing it ourselves because typical drug development doesn't cost $22 million. So Nasha, do you want to speak to this real quickly of how we're pioneering this new model so that we're cutting the cost and the time down by a fraction of what it would typically cost. And this is how patient advocacy groups like ours can take the wheel and get a treatment for our children.
Yeah, exactly. Typical drug development starting from scratch, which is what we started, right? We were building mouse models and cell lines. We didn't have anything known about the FOXG1 gene. From that point to an approved drug can take about 30 years and can cost $150 million plus, and that's for a rare disease genetic therapy. We have been able to do all of this in less than a decade, and we are pinning ourselves to 22 million to get to an approval. This is really important. We're not talking about we just get to a clinical trial. We're talking about an approved drug that all of our kids around the world can access. This honestly has not been done before. I actually just had a conversation with the CEO of a rare disease pharmaceutical company who prides himself on being cost effective and innovative and could not believe that have been able to do this in the time frame and in the cost structure that we have. It is truly remarkable. And I think it does go to show that when you have a group of parents who are determined and have no other incentives but getting a drug for their children, what can happen? And we are laying the blueprint and the groundwork for other patient foundations to follow. So while, you may think, oh my God, $22 million, how are we going to raise that? How are we going to get to this? This is like unbelievable. And we are going to get there. We've already raised $17 million with, 1,500 families worldwide. So we can do this, and we are showing the world that it's possible.
Thanks. Yeah, and it's possible, but we need all hands on deck. But,
Yeah.
being able to share this with you of, that when you speak to donors or to any donors out there, for you to understand these three really important message points, that the impact of support is three things. First, it's near term. We are going to be beginning patient clinical trials in the first half of 2026. So patients, children with FOXG1 syndrome, are going to begin getting this treatment within the next year. And it's potentially life-changing. This isn't a cholesterol drug. This is a drug that is replacing a mutated gene. We will see the impact of it once we're in trials. Like I said, our preclinical data is groundbreaking, but gene therapy is a life-changing treatment. And the other major message point that we always want to get across is that this is far reaching because we are rewriting the playbook for parent-led rare disease drug development. So I find very often when I'm in meetings with potential donors and they understand that this really does spread far beyond FOXG1 syndrome. We're all here because our children have FOXG1 syndrome, and we've become a worldwide community of parents who have become like family, and we are here to give all of our children a better life. But we know by the work that we're doing has implications far beyond our disease. And we really are accelerating the path for rare disease drug development. And that feels pretty good. So talk about somebody who is, taking great strides to help raise money for FOXG1 syndrome. So Tom Horton, who is the grandfather to a beautiful little girl with FOXG1 syndrome, Gianna, who I'm sure many of you already know who Tom Horton is. He joined us a few years ago when Gianna got her diagnosis. He's the former CEO of American Airlines. He is one of the most well-respected American businessmen there is. He's on the board of Walmart, GE, Blockchain, and he has really helped us raise this money. He has really reached out to his network, tells the story, tells what we're doing, how innovative we have been. And he's really come on board. And many of you have seen he is currently walking 500 miles across the famous El Camino Santiago with a hope to help raise the money and help raise awareness about this Yes They Can campaign. So Tom is in his final stretch of his walk. On our website, which Brianna just put in the chat, you could see the walk page. There are many ways to help power Tom's walk, to help support this incredible initiative that Tom is taking for all of our children. And actually, in the first half of his walk, coincidentally or providentially, he has raised 250,000 towards for his first 250 miles. So he's going to hit 500 miles, and any way anyone could support or even send notes of gratitude to Tom, because one really beautiful thing that was very important for him along this walk is that he's been carrying the names of every FOXG1 child in the world with him. And he was going through the countries alphabetically, starting with the A's, B's, C's, and every day stopping by churches along this very famous path, or walking and praying for all of our children. So I just thought that was really beautiful. And Tom is in his final stretch. And this is an initiative to help raise money. So this is just one thing and one idea that we can all think of. Okay, well, what can I do? You know, anyone who raises $1 is walking towards this goal. We're walking together to change lives. So, introducing our end of year campaign. As you know, or you may remember that every year for the past few years, we've launched an end of year campaign, a peer-to-peer campaign where everyone will start their own team on our website, the FOXG1 fundraising teams, and we set a goal for the end of year. We started our first year, we wanted to raise $100,000. Then the next year it was 250, or last year it was 250. And this year we're doubling that goal and we are launching the Frankie 500. So because our needs are greater than ever, we do have to raise another $11 million to get through the clinical trials for our FOXG1 gene therapy. So we're doubling our goal for the Frankie 500 so that collectively through our end of year peer-to-peer campaign, we reach this goal. And we are here to help you. So I am going to turn this over to the wonderful Brianna Fleming, she works day and night to work on all of our communications. If you notice how beautiful all of our social media has gotten the past couple of years, that is Brianna. But she's really here to help you with some other members of our team, and she'll talk about how. But we're here to help you fundraise. And I've been having a Jerry Maguire moment lately and saying, help us, help you, help all children with FOXG1 syndrome. So is that how I'm saying it? Did I just mess
That's
that
right.
up?
Yeah, no, I
So we're here to
got
help is my point.
it.
And I'm going to turn it over to Brianna to talk more about the goal and how we can help.
Yeah, so one of the biggest news that we probably have for this end of year campaign is that you do not need to create a new team. And because of that, we are already 1/5 of the way there. So however much you've donated since creating our new team, that is adding on to our 500K goal. So I'm sure everyone's excited. Don't have to create a new team. This is your team for the end of your campaign and on. So I want to explain how to create your team with the new platform. It is so much easier. It's 3 steps and you're done. You are able to customize it, add photos. We already have a banner up for you. We already have copy in there for you. I'll share the link if you want to get your team started. It's already branded for the Frankie 500. So once you get that, if you want to go to the next slide. It's easy. Start your team, personalize it, add photos, add your child's name. You can add the child's story. Our new campaign video is already on there, but if you have your own video that you have created, you can go ahead and add that as well. And then start sharing. Whenever you share our posts, add your link, add it to your Facebook, Instagram bios, add it to your email signature. This is your team. This is your link. So try to get your network to start giving and donating to this team, and that'll get us to our 500K by
Yeah, and
December
think of your
31st.
link as like your personal GoFundMe page. So that's like a great way to think about it. So your link is what you share with everyone. It's much better than doing like a meta fundraiser. This is yours, and then you know who your donors are, and you can always thank them and update them. It's really great. You can look right now on our website. It says fundraising teams right on the homepage. But I also do want to point out that when someone goes to our website, there's a pop-up now for Tom's Walk. And when Tom's Walk is finished, we're going to change that pop-up to be the fundraising teams. So it'll have more visibility right on the homepage.
Yeah. And this is where I want to go into how we can help. Me and Lisa are going to start a weekly starting next week. I believe that's the 15th. It is a fundraising support think tank. Our Zoom is going to be open for an hour. Pop in, pop out, as long as you want. You can stay the whole time. If you have an idea, if you need help, if you need something made, if you need anything to help you get your fundraising efforts, we will be on and we'll be there to help. You can stop by for 5 minutes, kind of will walk you through your idea, tell you your next steps and how we can help. So this will be weekly until the end of this 500K campaign. And you'll get the Zoom link and email, just like our parent support, an hour before that Zoom opens. Our next one is we have resources inside the dashboard. And we'll have, probably by next week, we'll have assets where you can kind of have social posts, Facebook covers, Facebook photo templates to kind of create over the Frankie 500. There's also a PowerPoint presentation that you can use if you want to share our story, our efforts with your network. There's also brochures. There is our logo. So if you ever need our logo, that's also inside your fundraising dashboard, which is in your resources. So I have that photo screenshot attached, resources, and everything that we have that will be able to help you with your fundraising efforts. Our next thing is we will be inviting everyone who has a team to a fundraising check-in. We hope you will join us on November 12th at 11 a.m. And this is where we're going to ask you, kind of put it back on you, like, what have you done in a month since we've launched this campaign? How can we help you? Or if you have any questions, again, me and Lisa will be there to help you guys out.
That's great.
And this next one, I want to kind of showcase other FOXG1 families who have put on events or attended local communities to kind of spread our story and try and fundraise for their team, and how I was able to help them. Hosting a dine-in, I don't know if you guys remember, we did that Chipotle dine-in. We wanted to see how many Chipotle fundraisers we can get. So we were able to walk you through the steps on how you were able to go and do that. And that was a great opportunity to share our story. You know, get your community together for a night at Chipotle. Another one was put up flyers. If you want a flyer made for your local gym, coffee shop, you know, join our weekly meetings and we can get that created for you. Attend runs. If you want a t-shirt made that has your child's name, you can get that for you. Put on a bake sale, and I want to pinpoint there is brochures that are already in your fundraising dashboard. But if you want that customized with your child's photo, just send me an email and we'll get that made. Host a community fundraiser for this family. I was able to create them assets. We had many meetings where we were able to kind of walk them through how to get this event out to their community, or I made them posters, I made them cards, gave them copy that they would need, and walked them through how they can get, smaller companies to donate, larger donations and all that kind of stuff. So whatever you need for a fundraiser, for a flyer or anything, I am here. If you need something in a different language, you can walk me through how to translate one of our assets and we can get that into your language so you can go and use that as well.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'll just say quickly that, look, fundraising can feel scary. It really can. And it's not something that I think any of us wake up thinking, wow, we can't wait to fundraise today, right? It helps me to think, wow, I'm so close to a possible really curative therapy for my child, and it's up to me, and my child is worth it, right? I tell this to myself to keep myself going. And I think what Brianna's put up are like, you can have fun with it. I've hosted little parties and people have come to the party and I charge them for it. Or, you can have some fun with this and try to be creative and think about what you love to do and then how you can attach a fundraiser to it. That could really help you. And of course, we've got the amazing Brianna to help with all the stuff that you don't want to think about. And if you're stressed, God, how am I going to explain FOXG1 syndrome? How am I going to explain the drug development? No problem. We can give you talking points, and you can always tell people, hey, I can connect you to the founders if you want to learn more. Like, don't feel like you have the pressure of having to tell everything. So, try to have fun with it and push yourself and know that it's outside of everyone's comfort zone. Nobody loves to do this, but our kids are worth it. So just something to help you kind of get through the starting, the cold start problem.
Yeah. And these ideas, these are just some ideas. And someone might look at this and say, well, how much money am I really going to raise at a bake sale? How is that really going to move the needle? But think of it in this way, that these events, that doing any event is an opportunity to share our story. So that's really what we want to do. You want to get people in a room and share our story, because the truth is, when people hear the story of what our foundation is doing, they are moved by it. They do see those three message points that I talked about, that first of all, it's near term, it's personal, it's could be potentially life-changing. And if you get to the far-reaching impact as well, but use these events as an opportunity to share your story, because you'll also be surprised that a lot of people in your community, a lot of your friends, they probably want to hear your story. They probably want an event like this where you have the opportunity to really bring them in. And if you think of people who have donated along the way, this is a great time to give them an update on where their money has gone and where it's going, and show them the impact of their participation along the way. So these are just some ideas of how you can bring people together to share the story. And, we also want to talk, well, ideas to go big, because, what we're learning, we've all become, fundraising, well, I'd like to not experts, but we've learned a lot about fundraising in the past couple of years. And, there are so many family foundation, corporate foundations, community foundations out there that existence is to give away money to do good in the world, or to do something that aligns with the causes that they care about. So what we really need is for everybody to come together and also think of ways to go big. Who do I know in my community? Or think of the community foundations that you know of, and can you book a meeting with them? Can you think of any philanthropist or anyone who someone in your family knows, or or a boss, or anyone who, if you have the opportunity to share what we're doing, they might say, hey, this is something that I want to allocate some of our giving to. So a part of our fundraising team is focusing on major donors, and it's been such a awakening experience, because we do see that, we do have the story. We really have the story. I've had this analogy lately that it's like Tinder, like we have the story, and there are these philanthropists out there that are looking for us. They're looking to make a difference in the near term, very transparent difference. They want to see exactly where their money's going, knowing that it could really radically improve lives in the next few years, but that it's also far-reaching as well. It's not just about FOXG1 syndrome. We are rewriting the playbook for rare diseases at large. FOXG1 is also an autism-related gene. And actually, the Lee Lab was given a grant from the Simons Foundation for our gene therapy, because they see that because FOXG1 is an autism-related gene, this gene therapy could help a subset of people with autism. So there are other implications to our work. So if you know someone, or someone who knows someone, if you could help book the meeting with leadership, with Nasha and I, and we will sit down, we will fly anywhere, we will have a Zoom at any time to share our story with someone who it really might be aligned with. So if everyone could think of someone and book the meeting, that would be great. And actually, in your teams, there is something, or in our donate pages, it says book a meeting. So we've baked this into the process, that anybody could book a meeting with leadership. And that's kind of what we're calling our philanthropy roadshow. So we're taking it on the road, and we'll meet with anyone and share our story and show them the impact of support by joining us. A big thing that could prove very, very successful, an idea to go big, is to write letters to your community, write letters to your network. Put them in mailboxes. I know Nasha is doing this with her children right now, but telling your story, talking about your children, linking it to your team. When it comes from a personal place, then it really does. There are people who are like, well, this is what I want to support. So these are some ideas to go big. We are looking to grow our research development team, and grow our fundraising committee. So please reach out with me, with Lisa, who you'll meet, to talk about, doing research to find out who is best aligned with us and how we could set up these meetings. Okay. So finally, the reason why we're raising all this money is to get this FOXG1 gene therapy across the finish line into clinical trials and beyond. And Nasha is going to give us all an update on how our gene therapy program is going.
Okay, thanks, Nicole. So, some of you have been with us on this journey from the beginning when we were literally putting our first mouse model together, and it has been a journey. The last couple of years have been really exciting. We got our lead candidate selection in June of 2024. This was a huge milestone for us where we finally had a drug that we saw working in our models, in our mouse models, right? And that kind of started this whole development part of the journey. We began engaging with Charles River, and their job was really manufacturing the gene therapy product, as well as doing non-clinical safety. And what non-clinical safety means is basically testing our drug in animals that are closest to humans. So in our case, that's monkeys, and they're called higher order animals. We're really excited to report that testing is now almost complete, and we're going to be submitting that final report to the FDA with our IND application. So that's been a big role in working with Charles River. We've had a great success also manufacturing our gene therapy product for our clinical trial, and all of that has gone really well. So that's all on the manufacturing of the drug. The next part that's really important is the clinical part, right? What are we going to measure in this trial? A huge reason why drugs fail is because you pick the wrong endpoint. So you may have a drug that's really fantastic, but if you've measured the wrong endpoint, the FDA actually does not let you take this drug to approval. So we've spent a lot of time really understanding what are the different symptoms that our children are facing. That's why the Citizen Natural History Study has been so important. Thank you, all of you that participated in it. If it wasn't for you, honestly, we would not be here, because that's the data that we have used to talk to the FDA and to explain to them that we understand our syndrome. And these are all the aspects of things we're going to be measuring, and we know how to measure them. We've done multiple advisory boards with patients. So some of, caregivers, some of you have joined those. Thank you so much for giving your feedback. That's been critical for us to understand how should we design this clinical trial? How should we think about the protocol? How do we make it family friendly? We've also had multiple meetings with KOLs, so key opinion leaders, physicians who treat children with FOXG1 to get their input. What should we measure? How should we conduct this trial? We've completed all of those, and all of that information is going into what we call an IND, the investigational new drug application, to the FDA. We will submit that by the end of this year, and we're really hopeful that the FDA will give us the green light to start clinical trials. Two really important designations that we have received this year are the Rare Pediatric designation and the Orphan Drug designation, the ODD. Okay, these are massive milestones. This basically means the simple way to think about it is the FDA is giving us their blessing that when we submit our application and it's approved, we can move faster through the agency. We will get extra feedback. There will be eyes on what we're doing. We could save money, so we don't have certain taxes and fees, which is great for us as a patient foundation. Any money saved is amazing. And we could also make money. So if the priority review voucher comes back into effect, we can actually make money, which is going to help us with getting, this drug to as many patients as possible. So all of the overall thing is that we are on track. Now, I, in my day job at Citizen, work with a plethora of pharma and biotech companies, and I can tell you 99% of drugs going through the process are never on track. There's always delays. We are not seeing any delays. Every milestone that we have put down that we're going to hit, we have been hitting. And that's just really because of our team and the dedication and focus. We're small but mighty. And also because of all the fundraising. So I know we've spent a lot of time on fundraising. Guys, we cannot get to an approved drug without raising the rest of the money. So we're there, we're at the hill. We just got to push this rock down now. So, stay with us. And we are hoping, fingers, toes, everything crossed, that we will be able to be in clinical trials by early next year. Like, I can't even believe I'm saying those words when 9 years ago I was, me, Nicole, others were begging all of us to fundraise for a mouse model. This is how far we've come. It's truly incredible. Now, international, I know many of you are international. Just want to give you an update there. We are planning for ex-US, so international clinical trial sites. We are currently in discussions with clinicians and clinical sites in Europe as well as Australia. We will start interactions with regulatory agencies early 2026 for both Europe and Australia. So stay tuned for that as well. We know that FOXG1 is a global problem, and we give you our word that our goal is to make a drug that is approved globally and everyone has access to it. Okay.
Thank you, Nasha. Yeah, I hope that you all today see that we started this foundation 8 years ago, and we breathe, sleep, eat everything to create a better life for every child, for every person affected by FOXG1 syndrome, every parent, every family member. We are doing everything we can. We launched this like an efficient startup company, and we are now a formidable global organization. And so I hope that you trust and that there is no stopping us. Things will only get better and better as with science. We are here for you, but this is truly a community effort, and we really do need your help. We're so grateful for all the help we've had along the way, from every parent who has stepped up, every family member who has stepped up. How can I help? Even if it's just launching a team in a year, or it's having an event, or talking to us about, I want to do something, let's brainstorm, coming to our conference, at the very least, registering your child, joining the natural history study, joining prospective studies, other things, any way that you join us is so appreciated, because we really are in this together. And now that we are at this point where, like Nasha said, we pinch ourselves, like the conversations we're having now, I do want to just bring up this one thing that really moved me recently is, when a parent gets this diagnosis, they go to our website, and there's a section for parents and caregivers, and there's a newly diagnosed page. And we designed that parents can set up a meeting with either me or Nasha or Ryan or Ellie. And I think because I'm the first one there, I get the meetings a lot. So I've been doing these new parent meetings for years. Since we launched this foundation, parents have signed up to have a Zoom with me. And the way the conversation has changed, I can't even put to words the feeling, the pride. Like, yes, this is hard. We all know just parenting a FOXG1 child is hard, but to work like we are a biotech company, but we are a foundation, and for it to be equally as important for us to have the research, the data, and the parent support, everything we're doing for this community. When I have these parent Zooms now, and someone's child who's 1 or 2 years old was just diagnosed, and I'm telling them there's going to be a treatment within the next few years, it's just such a different landscape. And so I'm so grateful. I mean, I walked away from the last one like, wow, this is what we're doing. And we really could not do this without everybody fundraising together. We are the first rare disease foundation that is taking a treatment through multi-site international clinical trials independently, because we are all raising money together. So it is more important than ever. We really need all hands on deck. As you saw, we are here to help you however we can. I would love to see in the chat if everybody could write, do you pledge to help us in any way whatsoever get to the Frankie 500 and beyond, to help fundraise in some way? If you do, please write in the chat, go Frankie. So I want to see a whole bunch of Go Frankies popping up in that chat, that we are in this together, and we are going to have a treatment for FOXG1 syndrome beginning next year. So, it's just, I look at Josie and I just say, we're doing it. And the thing that also always just really makes me, go to sleep well at night is that there are children who are not born yet. And when they are born, their parents will say, they'll go to the geneticist and get the diagnosis, just like we did. Your child has FOXG1 syndrome, but there's a treatment. And so that's why we're here. And we're here for our kids. We can't do it alone. And I just want to thank everybody for being here, for joining us. I see there are questions. Brianna, were there any questions that we missed? No questions? Okay, so if anyone has any questions, please reach out to us. There's contact us on our website, or just write contact@foxg1research.org. And we're here for you, and let's do this together. Let's get this exciting treatment over the finish line to patients worldwide together.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Go Frankie.
Go Frankie. Bye.